So one more comment about equirectangular projections. You see this famous world map. Of course, we know we all know it. So this is the Antarctica, which you know is really wide, and it will be just 1 pixel at the pole of our sphere. And this is how the perspective works here. You see how it's stretched here. So I'll just save this image. Terrible quality, but that will be good enough for us to see. I'm not sure if it will. Oh, okay. And let's say I'll grab, I don't know, some interior. Save image as. Hopefully that still saves it. Yeah, it is. It does. Okay, so now I'll just change the material just to see what happens. Alright, let's grab index world map, and again, oh, 1 white pixel at the edge of the image. And now let's change it to interior of the room. Oh. Color, texture, index 1. And now of course it looks weird like this, but we will need to go inside our sphere here. Here you see the tripod was used to capture this image and they didn't patch the hole. Anyways, I'll select so that only this object is shown, and I would go inside, but it's black because it's, you know, the other side of the polygons. So I will invert my object. Everything is selected. Right click, no, shift right click, face normals, and reverse normals. Now it's black in outside, and if you go inside, it's a bit hard to navigate. I'll make this way bigger. Till the camera will be inside. Okay. Still not big enough. Anyways, now it's terrible resolution, but you can imagine we are inside the cathedral, I suppose. Arcs are hardly visible. Kind of should have grabbed a better resolution. This is when we use this equirectangular projections. Of course, we could just having a camera and a tripod, we could create ourselves these images, and maybe we'll look into that as well. And now let's have a look, how do we actually change existing UVs apart from applying planar or some other projection. So we already saw that we can create and apply cylindrical, planar, spherical projection. We can also do it automatic. It will kind of take into account the angles of each polygon, and based on the angle value, it kind of split parts of the model. So it's very good for things that you don't really need to actually, the human doesn't need to look at the UVs again. So if you only care about that the object would have UVs and you don't really care how they look, no other artist will look into them. It most likely would be good enough to use automatic UVs. Now it's too simple object to show it. Maybe let's try it on a sphere. Yeah, you see, it kind of based on angle, kind of split it somewhere, who knows where. Sometimes it's good enough, and sometimes you really need to do it yourself. So now we'll try to do something ourselves, very simple. Now we already have this, but let's say I want to make it, you know, somehow specifically. So there are lots of tools, and one of the most important would be one of the most important ones would be to cut. So you see now it stretches, and if we go to edges, select this edge, we need to cut it. Now if we go to faces and grab this one, it's a separate thing. It's no longer connected. So again, edges, let's say we disconnect it here. Maybe we have it here as well. Cut on Sue, cut. Back to faces. and we can separate things. Now, if I select a vertex, you see that it shows our vertices that it's connected to. This one connects to this one, plus this one. And let's say might be I would like, I don't know, these two are connected to these two, right? Might be I would like to, let's say, change the how it's created, and maybe I would want to connect this to this. J. Now we go to edges, select those two, and we sew, if that's the word, I'm not sure. And now that's one element. I think it's, yeah, UV shell, it's called in Maya. UV shell, it's one block of UVs. And this is how we can kind of rearrange things for a very basic shapes like that. And now say we want to create a more complicated, let's say to unwrap this one. So I could also have my selections here. Let's say double click, I select my edge loop here, and now here I could shift click and say cut. Now if I go to UV shell, I have UV shell. I should have two parts. Let's see if that still works. Yes, one part and another part. So this is the top. So I can work not necessarily in UV window, I can work it here as well. So let's go to edges, detach this part, shift right click, cut. I'm not gonna bother now to move it, because I want to create another cut here. So it's control to subtract from a selection. And again I'll cut here, no, shift and cut, and do one more here. So control to subtract, shift and cut. Okay, now another thing we can do here is not only use these planar projections or spherical or cylinder, we can unwrap the object. So we will try to unwrap this one, create. No, so it's not under create. Modify probably. Unfold, probably it's unfold in Maya. Yeah, unfold. And you see it kind of stretched it out. So it's under edit, edit. Where is edit? No. Unfold, we're looking for unfold. Come on. Sets, no, textures, no, image, no, edit. It should be here. And it's not. Modify, yes, it's under modify, and we unfold. Oh, didn't select it. So edit, modify, unfold, and now it unfolds. Of course there are other options how to unfold, not tools, it's modify, unfold. Let's see options, and you see we can try to play with this, but most likely we won't need that. I'll have to cut this out. Okay, so we have, let's say we like this way of splitting off our object. Now let's pack them together to this space UV1 0 to 1. Of course I could do it manually, just select parts, move them, scale them so they fit, or I could, I don't know if I need to select all of it, probably don't. But let's go to modify, and here we have some layout options. So I just grab the first one, and you see it automatically. Let's try without selecting. So that's modify and layout along. I maybe need to select still. Modify layout along one axis. And of course you could change the axis in the options of the tool. So layout along, orient shells, you know, so what is top, more or less, and so on. So you can experiment with those as well. So I'll just select all of it, and let's just lay out. Okay, we have that. Now we go to image, UV snapshot. We can create, I don't know, 4-key texture. 496 would it be? No, 496. Where do we want to save it? Yeah, that's correct. Apply, override. I have saved this layout here. Let's open it in Photoshop, and we can create a new layer and start doing things. You know, say I want brush, bigger brush. Oh, yeah. Maybe that's here. This is backside. I don't know what else. So if I'll just save it like that, it will be white background. So I need a black background. So I create a new layer. Oops, sorry. Undo. X. Click, and now I can save this. I'll just overwrite the existing one. That was a JPEG as far as I remember. Yes, whatever. And now again we apply a material, say it's blend, and yes, say it's its texture. Now let's show textures in the viewport, and this is our guy.